Hello everybody, welcome to the next game. Today I'm casting with Rock. Hello.
Hello everyone, hello Fearles. So we have Gauson playing Amazons and Vasco playing Asians, and on the other team we have Alternativfrage playing Amazons and TSK playing Asians. And we're starting with tactical pause from the Vasco Gauson team.
You think that's a bit too early? For my taste, they don't even see the map.
Yeah, the players already see the map, we don't, so they have an upper hand. We have to wait till we see what is there.
I guess the only thing they can discuss is the spots, right? Because they haven't sent out the soldiers, they don't really know what the layout is of the mountain and whatnot.
Yeah, so I guess the decision whether to make a rush or not is just being made right now, and well, we will see what will happen quite soon. Okay, so let's take a look at the map. Okay. So we have both Asians at the north, with quite a huge mountain in between them, and the spots of Asians are not as comfortable as many spots that we used to see on the recent games that I've been commenting. However, they both have some places for Asian mana, so that's quite good for Asians. And on the downside, I think the Amazons have way more space. So there is Alternativfrage below Vasco, and there is Gauson who plays below TSK.
We have cross positions.
Exactly.
Should lead to more dynamic game, although they're all quite far apart from each other. There is a biggest mountain separating the top players with a bigger snow as well.
Well, let's hope it will be dynamic. I mean, I prefer such games, especially in the tournament. I believe that's the best thing for the tournament.
Let's see where the players develop, because it can go either way. I'm not really sure who's gonna be fighting who, because if the players choose to fight north, the Asians versus Asians, then it will be like 1v1, and the players will have like the same race against each other. Whereas if the Amazons go north, then it might be a different story. The Amazons might be fighting Asians the whole time, simply because the Asians, I think they have to go south, right? There's just not enough space north. It's very hilly and uneven.
Yeah, I think that it could be possibly better option for Gauson or for Kevin. I mean, Alternativfrage, to go to the north and to block the Asian player, as there's a quite good spot over there. Some nice place, some nice mountains. But as we can see, Gauson is going to the west, as he's going to the to meet with the Alternativfrage on the spots between them, and the space between them. So he's fighting for his mirror to win it.
He already found the space for the launch residence. Maybe before the game develops even further, I'll say how the bans went. So Gauson started off by banning Egyptians and Asians, and then Alternative banned Romans. I'm not really sure what to think about it. I don't think I've ever seen Alternative play Amazons, but maybe I'm wrong. So this should be interesting. I know Gauson practiced a bit, right?
I very liked how Gauson has put his forest. I mean, looks quite nice. Maybe it's not too fast at the beginning, because it's not the closest to the wood that he has, to the trees that he has there, but it will work nicely later on. Maybe let's take a look at the Asians. What are they doing? As we can see, TSK is, I think, a bit faster with going to the middle grounds. However, at the same time, I think that Vasco is doing better with his forest. I mean, he has more woodcutters. He's faster in these terms. So he's building better than TSK at the moment. A bit better. But well, we will see what will come out of it. Fearles, are you here with me?
I'm here, yeah.
Just couldn't hear you for a moment.
I'm just sipping my tea. Currently, because there's not much going on. I mean, my throat kind of hurts a little bit. And yeah, let me finish the bans maybe. So TSK banned Amazons and Egyptians. And then Vasco banned Romans. I know Vasco is quite decent Asian player. I mean, more than decent. He's quite good actually. And for TSK, I'm not really sure. Haven't really seen him play Asians, but I'm sure he will manage. And he's the one going towards the upper side, whereas Vasco sort of gave up on that idea. I think he realized the terrain there is just not worth pursuing, and he's going south all the way. And I think I like this choice better than going both south and north. You don't want to split your builders and shovelers at all.
Yeah, however, I think that TSK is doing that. He's going both sides with his pioneers.
Well, let's see how this pays off for him. They have quite nice swamps, the Asians. You can build 3 right off the bat. Even 4 if they really want to. I mean, it's quite surprising considering the spot isn't, I would say, the greatest. See if they go for early mana. I remember from the game with Matty and Ethan and Generalen and Zena and Generalen, they tend to, I mean, they built 2 rice farms very quickly. We'll see if we see something like this in this game as well.
Well, it seems that Vasco is starting with his rice farm. It looks like a quite difficult rice mine for the person who will work there, as it's in the middle of the mud. Well,
yeah, I think it's a bit too close. I'm not really sure how effective it will be, right? Because it's barely... I think he built over like a majority of the swamp. So I'm not really sure where the worker will plant the things. Maybe a better idea would be to just take the swamp in the north, like in the right hand side of his position, and build it there. Maybe he's saving that for later, I'm not sure.
Okay, and Alternativfrage is just finishing up Large Residence, and Gauson doesn't have it yet, but he will soon, I guess. But Alternativfrage is a bit faster in his turn.
He went for 4 woodcutters, that's why. Gauson has 5, yeah.
Yeah, we will see what will pay off quite soon, I guess. What start do you prefer, with 4 or with 5 woodcutters as Amazons?
Amazons? I think 5 is better, especially if you have trees. I think 4 is just not enough for the 2 sawmills to work consistently. As you can see, like Black, like one of his sawmills is idle right now.
Yeah, that's right, and both for Gauson are working, so... Even though it demands a bit slower Large Residence, it seems that it works quite nice.
But I don't think that's a set in stone rule. I mean, it's just a matter of preference more, I would say.
Oh, and by the way, this rice farm for Vasco, it's working, and it looks quite nice.
It's working now, but look how far the guy has to, like, he's not going to plant like right by his door. There's just a little bit of space that he won't plant on, and I think that means like it won't be that efficient. It just doesn't have enough space. Enough swamp, that is.
Yeah, but maybe better that than nothing.
And maybe just going for the north one on the top right would be better. TSK shoveling the iron smelter already? Interesting. Before the third sawmill. Huh.
Yeah, I think that TSK has a bit better positions for his rice farms. I mean, he has built one tower towards there, so maybe that's it. But if he isn't checking it, he can put better rice farms.
I think that's a bit of a mistake from TSK side that he's going for the iron smelter before the third sawmill. It's never worth omitting that as Asians. Early on you want to pick off that wood production ASAP. I think he doesn't even realize that. Yeah, he stopped it, but the shovels already went there. And there's a bit of wood already piling up in his north sawmill.
As we can see, Gauson Forest just kicked in, and it's working really nice right now. So his decisions just paid off. And he's slightly faster than Alternativfrage thanks to that. And well, on this level it can make difference because I think that both teams are quite good as Alternativfrage and TSK are quite good players, same as Gauson and Vasco are also very experienced, very good players. So on this level, there's slight differences. Being slightly faster, it might make a huge difference, I believe.
So who do you think is the favorite in this match?
I've got no idea, to be honest.
Really?
From what I see, I would say that maybe Gauson or Vasco. But it's not like they're, like 100% that they will win, or it's not even like 80% that they will win. But from what I see, they seem to be slightly faster. They seem to be, well, it's just the same thing as they did against Half-Blood and Zazu. They're very solid. Both Vasco and Gauson. I think that's the biggest thing about their team. They're very solid players.
Yeah, I agree. They were the ones that they didn't show any stress or nervousness during the game, and they played off as they would usually play in the normal game. There's something strange going on in Black's territory that I would like to point out. He's already building a large temple before even finishing his second stone cutter. I'm not really sure what's that for. Maybe sending some sort of goods? Maybe they have a build planned. And he's placing another temple already. Interesting.
Yeah, and he's building also an iron smelter. Well, same as Gauson. I guess both teams are aware that there is a need to not to be rushed or plan to rush. They see, taking a look at the espionage situation, Gauson has 4 spies at the moment, Vasco has 2, Alternativfrage has 3, and TSK has 2, so both teams are spying. They're quite active at that. They're also having some soldiers that are patrolling in order to counter-spy. So we have both some espionage actions here. We have also some counterintelligence in this game.
But they don't see the temples just yet. I wonder what they will do when they see it. Yeah, Gauson doesn't have a spy inside of Black's territory, and Neither does Vasco. There's a swordman close by in the north, but I'm not sure if he's going the right direction to spot that. There's some soldiers north from black to deflect it, and that's maybe why he's running away. There's also a weaponsmith going down for alternative and second large residence. Yeah, very interesting with that first big one being so quick. I would say that has to be part of some sort of plan, otherwise it doesn't make much sense.
Well, we will see quite soon, I guess. And ESK is towering quite intensively towards both Gauson and Alternativfrage. So I guess that they want to cut off Gauson from Vasco. That might pay off, but that can also backfire, depending on the situation, of course.
Yeah, he's building the TSK, that is, he's building the tower north. To be honest, I would just prefer him to build a watchtower there. I mean, you don't need the land there, and you're risking that the enemy will take it. You want to have vision there, obviously. So instead of, I mean, spies can die, or they just don't provide enough vision. So you just build a watchtower. That would be quite a good idea, I'd say.
Yeah, a watchtower there would be quite enough, I think.
Oh, and I think TSK is making the mistake he made in the previous game. He's building the weaponsmith with having only 3 small residences. And we can already see logs piling up in woodcutters. Quite unfortunate, I would say. He's building he's building the medium residence, but it's just a little bit too late, and I think it will be even after the weaponsmith.
Yeah, it looks definitely it looks like a mistake.
Meanwhile, black is continuing to build the large temple. I'm not really sure if Vasco and Gauson know what's going on. I don't think so. Or maybe I'm blind, but I don't think they have any spies inside. There's one entering black's land from the left-hand side, from the forest. I mean, it's smart to go around. It's more difficult to spot. I played a game yesterday and I was very good at deflecting spies, but the enemy just went around my country and he went inside, and I haven't spotted the guy for like an hour during the game. So once he is inside, it's difficult to spot.
Yeah, and so from my experience, I know that it's quite difficult to put a spy on your land. And by the way, this Vasco race farm looks like quite a big mistake.
Yep.
When you look how
It
badly it works. Do you see that Vasco is putting a rice in the place where he will build a second rice farm because he has realized that it was a mistake? Do you see it?
Let me check.
It works very
there,
bad.
in the north, there's one. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, that's a major mistake.
And he's quite low on settlers too, but they had spotted the large temples. Gauson managed to send 2 spies in, and he sees everything that's going on in Black's land. I think he lost one of the spies. No, one's by the temple, and the other is on the left hand side. Although it's dying right now.
You know, the thing is that Gauson doesn't have large temples from one side, but from the other perspective, he already has some swords. He already has like 6 swords, and Alternativfrage is not producing swords yet. So, well, I would prefer to have swords quicker.
Yeah, that's true. But we'll see. Maybe they need the mana, the priest, for something. They want to call something. I'm not really sure. And we'll see what weapons they make with that level 2. So Alternative already crushed the temples, but he still hasn't clicked any level 2 soldiers, so they're not really sure what to do. Interesting.
And does he have barracks yet?
Black, that is? No.
No barracks yet.
He shuffled them already, and I think he will build them just now. I think they're carrying the materials from the crushed temples into those barracks right now.
I guess so.
Vasco has a farm already now. I wonder what the build for Gauson and Vasco is. Because, as you said, Gauson is making the swords, but Vasco has a farm. And he's building the second rice farm. I mean, no surprise there. The first one was a bit of a bummer there. I mean, it may seem nice, but like the guy just can't plant right at the entrance.
Yeah,
it's a bit unfortunate.
It seems very nice, but it's a trash.
And TSK only now finished the medium residence, and all of the people left, and they went on to their jobs. And I mean, they have a lot. We can see. What's the most painful in this situation that says wood production is completely halted. Only one sawmill was working for a little bit, and the one in the south. Everything else was stopped due to lack of settlers. And I think Vasco is struggling with similar problem, or was struggling with similar problem, but he had that one additional residence, and there's another one in the north. But we can see like his north sawmill isn't working either, so a bit of a misplaced, smaller one, but also an issue.
Okay, so Alternativfrage is going for both. He already has 2 coal mines, which Gauson doesn't. Or no, Gauson has 1 coal mine, he just doesn't have the second yet. So Gauson has barracks and some swords.
Okay, and we missed something. I knew that priest was for something. Black stole Gauson's initial resources.
Oh!
And even he got away with it. With the priest, that is. I'm not really sure if Gauson realizes. Oh, it's a sneaky move.
Oh
nice
no.
One.
He has all 3 skies. So Gauson cannot go for farms right now. And he has some food from him.
Yeah, all size, all bread. I mean, most of the bread. Quite a bit of all fish. Quite a bit of meat, and I think what's most importantly, 2 hammers and 2 or 3 pickaxes even. That's a huge blow outside to the start, especially considering Gauson is making the swords. And I'm pretty sure he does not realize that it happened.
I think that's quite a huge advantage for TSK Alternativfrage team.
And Alternative DC'd due to the excitement, I think.
Yeah. But I think that if Gauson and Vasco if they don't react to this situation, that might be a huge problem for them. I mean, Vasco is also producing swords, and Gauson already has some swords. So if they build quick level 2 and just go for Alternativfrage, and don't allow him to use his advantage, well, then maybe they can just go away with the fact that, well, Gauson resources went away from him by the Alternativfrage's magic.
Yeah, but they would have to be really quick. Luckily for Gauson, the one coal mine he placed is very good. I mean, it's good. It's 70%. Could have been better, but it's good. I presume he just have to build empty mines. Because guys, you probably know that when you build a mine, you get like the guy makes 10 attempts without food, so you don't need food in order for him to mine at least a little bit of resources. So Gauson might have to rely on that.
Well,
but
what you can see, Gauson has a problem. He's in trouble because he's not taking away his swords from the weaponsmith, so it's blocked. And it could work and it could produce new swords, but he's not using the market. Maybe he got nervous while realized that, his starting resources are gone. But of course, it doesn't mean that they have lost yet, but it's a huge mistake from him to allow Alternativfrage to steal resources. So, as we can see, I was wrong. And Gauson and Vasco are making mistakes. Maybe not with buildings, but with securing their resources. And with good Amazon's players, you have to be very, very cautious with that, as I guess everyone has faced a situation in which Amazon player has stolen you some important resources. At least I did, for sure.
Yeah, and that happened for me as well, and it's painful, especially if he takes your food.
Yeah.
I mean, recovering from that is just, especially in a 2v2. I'm not really sure. As you said, they looked solid in the previous game they played versus Half-Blood and Zazu, but Half-Blood and Zazu were passive players, and this right here is just a clever play and aggression. We'll see how they react to that, because that's a true test to whether they can handle stressful situations now. Yeah, let's see what they do. You can see Vasco making gold already, gold ore, that is. I don't think he will build the gold smelter, doesn't look like it. He probably will, though, add another weaponsmith quite soon.
Yeah, but as we know from some previous games, storing some gold ore doesn't have to pay you off. Especially if your enemy has samurai magic to defend from your swords with some gold ore.
Yeah, we've established that you need 21 gold ore baskets in order to get to the next, not even 21, I think 18, in order to get to the next level of your for your swordman, that is, for level 2. So, I mean, it's fine that he's sending the gold ore. I wonder if he has no, he does not have the fisher, so...
Oh, Gauson has just recruited his swords, and I think he's going for TSK.
He's going north, yeah. But TSK will have level 2 and he will have the call. I'm not really sure if that's a correct idea, unless Vasco sends them down again to, to do some counterplay. Not counterplay, to do some tricks on black, if he decides to help his ally.
Yeah, I mean... That's a thing that Asian player can always do, is to do some magic, to do some, tricks. But I think that Vasco is also moving his soldiers towards TSK. So they might want to finish off TSK using their forces. However, of course, TSK will be able to bring some soldiers from Alternativfrage quite soon too.
And you can see I'm looking at Gauson's country, and it's not looking too good. I mean, his sawmills are not working. He's not building the second, only now unlocked the second large residence, and he doesn't have settlers at all to recruit additional soldiers. He's only now turned the pioneers back into settlers, and we can see they're making an advancement north. Only Gauson though, right? Yeah, Vasco is staying in the middle because he doesn't have level 2 just yet. I think they have to wait for that. Without it, it won't work. I don't think so.
Yeah, but it means that TSK will have enough time to have level 2 and to have a call.
Yeah, that's true.
He has it.
That's why Gauson is probably pressing to attack. He has a safe tower back north, so he doesn't have to really defend here. Oh, he chooses to defend though, right?
I'm not sure if he sees it. Gauson is very close to just kill this priest. And
you might be right, he doesn't see it.
Tower. And I think the TSK just doesn't see it. Oh, he just started, but it might be too late. I guess it's too late for TSK to survive here.
He would have to call immediately.
Yeah. And he's losing 2 towers here. I mean, TSK might survive, but he will lose his whole production here.
There is a priest in the bottom right. I'm not really sure why he's not using it.
Gauson is not attacking this tower. Okay, now he's attacking it again. Yeah, I think that he just thinks it's too late. Maybe. Yeah. So TSK just ignored this attack, like he didn't notice that. He haven't defended at all. He had some soldiers up there. He just didn't use them to defend his tower, so it was a huge mistake from TSK right now, because he just gave a free kill to Gauson. So I don't know what happened here. It shouldn't have happened.
Speechless, to be honest. Like, he had
Yeah.
a priest by his tower with a call, like, and there was quite a few soldiers from Black standing, waiting to be called. I'm not really sure why he didn't pull the trigger or crush the towers altogether and go back to his tower in the north. I mean, Gauson had like 10 soldiers.
Yeah, I mean, if the TSK had like all soldiers in one place, he could have defended his towers for longer, maybe hold some from Alternativfrage, and he would stand a chance. I mean, the army of Gauson is not that big. However, still, Alternativfrage has a huge advantage. Because of this Gauson's resources, so it's not like that this game is over even if TSK dies. I mean, of course, depending if Alternativfrage, will be good enough, will play good enough to use this advantage. Of course, it's also a very stressing situation to play one against two. I don't know how he will react on that. Well, now Gauson is attacking TSK. TSK still have one priest with one coal. He has some soldiers here. They're of course not enough to defend from Gauson's army. It's not huge, but it's enough to kill TSK off. And, well, we will see what happens.
I wonder if he will call the soldiers now. I mean, he should. I know that Vasco has level 2 swords. Is waiting. No, he chooses to cast a shield instead. Why? I mean, I guess he lost the production, but he has a weaponsmith just fine. Has the barracks building on priority and has a few settlers to recruit. He just turned the pioneers. Like, why wouldn't you call his body to defend? I mean, I guess maybe they just gave up. He doesn't think he can defend, but he can just defend just fine. Gauson has very few soldiers, and he's not really producing more because he lost everything.
But it seems that he just defended.
Yeah, okay, but it was very risky. I would have just called, I think.
Yeah, but he did. He did defend. It seems that it was a good idea. I mean, of course, Vasco can kill him, and I think that Vasco is going for that. He's sending some swords there. But, well, I guess that TSK didn't want to take any soldiers from Alternativfrage because he has this, huge upper hand. So I think they just want him to play safe, to be the strongest as possible, etc. However, at the time, Alternativfrage has just one working weaponsmith, so it's not that much. I mean, he has two weaponsmiths, but only one is working right now. Alternativfrage had no sulfur for now. He just started to build one right now.
Vasco going across the mountain and just a little between the snow, and I think he's going to at least try to finish the job. I'm not really sure if that's enough soldiers that he has there. The problem for TSK is that he lost all of his houses, or most of them, so he would have to build a medium one and then another one in order to get additional settlers, and I think he needs them badly, considering he's under constant pressure and there's overflowing weapons in his weaponsmiths currently. There was an attempt from Gauson to take out tower from Black in the middle by the mountain where he's building his sulfur mines currently, but luckily for Black he managed to spot that in time and destroy it.
Yeah, and as we can see, Gauson has a toolsmith, so he will try to rebuild somehow, but it won't be easy, as he has nothing.
His country is in shambles currently.
Yeah, you just have to take something with the Spios from TSK. So the key now is to kill TSK as quick as possible, because in the meantime, Alternativfrage is becoming stronger and stronger. And from what I see, Vasco is not building too much at the time. He's building something, but it's not too much. And Alternativfrage is like fully concentrate on building. He has some mana. He is planning to build some new weaponsmith, from what I see on his map, on his land. But yeah, now there is a situation at
The pushing in.
this game.
Vasco has all the combat power. I think he should maybe give a little bit to Gauson to reach the next level, but I think they have enough to kill him off in here. He has a tower on the left hand side though, but it won't really help him to survive. Maybe just a little bit longer. Nothing too meaningless, too meaningful. Yeah, I guess they should have plenty to kill him. Oh, I mean, it's a very messy game from both teams.
Yeah, but it's a very dynamic game. I like it. I mean, I like such games.
And now
but it's very messy.
Now it's all on black. I mean, yes, Gauson did lose the resources, but now he's just will take them back from Grey. And TSK left a lot of food, a lot of resources, coal and iron, everything. So, I mean, Gauson needs like 5 to 10 minutes in order to catch up, and if Alternative is not going to pull the trigger on Vasco or Gauson, then I don't think he has a chance. Because his economy isn't that great either. He's lacking the sulfur very badly.
I mean, he already started the sulfur production, but he's not doing that great.
I guess he couldn't find it. He searched the main mountain, but it turned out it was only on the middle one. I don't know what his idea is.
But the sulfur that he has found is 85%. And the second one is 36, so the second one is not too good, but the first one is really, really good. But, well, I believe that possibly Vasco can just build some new soldiers and go in against Alternativfrage, as he doesn't have too much too big production.
Yeah, TSK is technically still alive because that tower on the left finished before. I mean, in time, but I guess they know it's just a matter of time.
As we can see, Gauson wants to make this technical issue of TSK living just a thing of the past, and to make TSK really dead, as he's bringing some of his soldiers to the last tower of TSK, and he just crashed it, and I guess TSK is dead? No, he's not. He's not. He has another one. I mean, he has 2 towers, not just one. So, technically, TSK is still alive.
Yeah, I guess he keeps them occupied for a bit longer, but now it's all up to black, and I don't think he has any plan. He's building another large tower in the north, so that suggests he should be attacking Gauson. I'm not sure if I like that idea. I understand that Asian can always call and it's sort of tricky to attack them, but as we can see, Vasco has all his production under these 2 towers, and it's relatively close to black, so I think I would put my eyes on attacking Asian at this point. Vasco has messed up a little bit with water. He has 2 bakeries, none of them are working because there's no water, and he's not expanding really.
Yeah, just as I said, he's not building too much, but he has 3 working blacksmiths. Why Kevin has just 2. I mean, Alternativfrage. Of course, for now, Gauson has no working weaponsmiths, as well. His resources, as we know, were taken away from him. But it will soon change, as he's taking land from TSK, who is technically still alive, and Gauson cannot find his last tower, which is quite close to.
It's right under his nose. I guess they're pinging there, so they should find it.
They've just noticed that.
But it's worth pointing out that even though he has a tower, he cannot build anything, because if the tower, the last tower you have is empty, you cannot place any buildings. Not that he can he has the space for it, but still.
So it's just, TSK having some fun, doing some trickstery. Oh, Gauson haven't noticed this tower. He was looking for it in the middle. He went there with 2 swords, and he's going away with them. So, well, this game is full of mistakes for Gauson. I mean, this one won't matter a lot, of course. And what is funny, TSK is destroying some buildings from Gauson with his pioneers, so he's not completely passive. He has
to do what he
6
can.
pioneers, and he just destroyed a honeymaker of Gauson. And he's going somewhere further with them, but Gauson has noticed them, so he will kill them.
Has he? There's some soldiers back in the forest, and they're not moving. I guess there's.
Yeah, he did, but he has sent just some new souls there.
TSK doesn't have a soldier, so he cannot put in that tower. And I think Gauson will eventually spot it.
He will soon, I guess. Some soldiers are just going there. Let's take a look at the soldiers' amounts. So, Alternativfrage has 75. At the same time, Vasco has 73. And Gauson has 28. So it's not a huge difference. It's not like Alternativfrage has way more, but he has just started quite decent production, as he had 2 laboratories working fully. So, and he already has 4 weaponsmiths. Of course, only 1 is working at a time, but some more will start soon.
It's very tall order, and like before him, it's very difficult situation to. I mean, it's possible to win in a 2v2 like this, obviously from our perspective, because you can see that Gauson's economy is in complete shambles, although he's capturing some of the resources from TSK. He's not going for the mines, interestingly enough. I don't know if he realizes that most of the food and resources is there. Yeah, I guess he's moving the pioneers right now. But yeah, alternative, I would say he shouldn't attack right now, especially considering that Vasco has a quite sizable army. Wait for the combat power and build some more weaponsmiths, and then try to make something happen, because in like 15 minutes it will be too late for that. Gauson will manage to catch up with the economy.
Yeah, but we have to admit that the situation for Gauson and the Vasco team was quite difficult. It's quite stressing, and of course they can still lose.
It was very dire. Gauson fell apart a little bit when he lost the resources, but I'm not really sure what happened with TSK in that attack. I mean, I spoke with him yesterday. He said he is a bit sick, so maybe that's then the reason for it. It looks like there's an aggression going down from Vasco and Gauson. Gauson just tried to capture this finished tower from black. Alternative managed to crash it in time, and there's an attack going from the north side of the map. Vasco has quite a few swordmen. There's potential freeze from Gauson. Yeah, he can freeze or even give the immortality to Vasco's soldiers. And it's a very dangerous attack. I would say if he doesn't crush those towers, I think they will fall. Because there's only Amazon's level 2 bows. They're not really that great at fighting such a big army, especially with spells.
Yeah, he's sending some of his bowmen from the right.
I like the pioneers to tank the source damage. Very nice. There's a immortality spell and samurai sword going down. Nice freeze from black, waiting out the spells. Very, very good. I'm not really sure if that will be enough though. He needs the reinforcements from the right, and we can see Gauson attacking from the right as well. The freeze wore off, but the immortality has not just yet. It's a few more seconds, so he has a 3 shots on those bowmen, and he's already on that tower.
It's seems that this tower will fall down quite soon.
Yeah, Vasco has 43 combat power still, and yeah, he got that tower down.
Yeah.
He lost most of his swordmen, so I'm not really sure if he was able to continue and take that north tower. Gauson managed to... I mean, he didn't manage to do any damage on the right. Yeah, and Alternative should be able to recapture that tower, providing he makes some swords or melees, either spearmen or swordmen.
Yeah, but the advantage of the production was just brutally taken away from Alternativfrage right now.
And there's another blow going down from Gauson. I think that's a killing blow. On the bottom right-hand side of his country, he will lose both of the sulfur mines, and I think that's a nail to the coffin for Black. Just fell apart a little bit. I mean, very nice attacks from Gauson and Vasco from 3 different directions.
Yeah, so they've made their mistakes, but well, after some major, going back with their progress, well, now they're back on the track and they're going for the win. And it seems that, well, Alternativfrage is dying out to Gauson soldiers right now. So this game is going to be finished quite soon.
There's not much comeback potential for Black right now. I'm not really sure why he had that tower by the mountain. Gauson wasn't even trying to tower it himself, and it was still... I don't think he could tower it that easily without building like towers in the south. There's no point keeping that tower, I think.
Yep. Well, Alternativfrage just said it's GG. He's not crashing only because he cannot crash at the moment, but he just surrendered. So, even though that Gauson had his major problems, even though that Vasco was building for some time, it seemed that Alternativfrage might have a chance against 2 of them, even though TSK died. It seems that this game is over, and Gauson and Vasco are going to the next round in the winners brackets, and Alternativfrage and TSK will fight in the losers brackets, and that means that I will have an opportunity to fight against Gauson and Vasco. I was very curious about this game because of this reason, because I was curious versus whom I'm going to play. And it seems that I will have to play against Gauson and Vasco with my partner, who is Leovides.
Do you have tactics already planned for that match, or?
Not really, but well, I'll think about it, of course.
As you can see, I mean, everyone makes mistakes, so I think with aggressive enough of a play, you can make a lot of happen, even early on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I won't be able to steal starting resources from Gauson right now, as I guess he will be cautious with that. Okay, and Gauson has disconnected, and it's over, right?
Yep, Alternative died. Let's take a look at the stats. Currently, there's a big advantage for Vasco and Gauson. There's the soldiers because TSK died. I mean, he lost his barracks with his first or second tower that fell, and he wasn't producing from that point at all, even though he had a few weapons in his weaponsmith. Quite unfortunate rush. I'm not really sure what happened there. Maybe he didn't see that the swordmen were coming, and he lost 2 major towers, and after that it was just all downhill. Alternative couldn't make it back, mostly because of his unit composition, I presume, and the attack from different angles. Good games for both teams, even though they make a few mistakes, but it was quite entertaining, I agree.
I wonder what would happen if Alternative went just for swords. That would be interesting, maybe.
Yeah, I guess he could put some pressure on either of the players, but I think the problem for him was that he didn't have a sulfur fast enough, and therefore he couldn't make gold before his mate was dead.
Yeah, so I think he was a bit unlucky. I mean, as he couldn't use just his advantage that he had. So that's it. So thank you everyone for commenting, you, Fearles, and me of course too, and for everyone for being here.
Thank you guys. Bye bye.